So yeah, a circle looks something like this. X, well, maybe throw that in there. X squared plus, y squared equals. So for this circle, the center is at 1, -2, and the radius is 3. Today we are doing ellipses, is that the plural? Do you guys know what ellipses? It looks kind of like a circle. I mean the equation. An ellipse is basically an oval. It's a fancy word for oval. And this is the equation that makes it happen. So the difference between a circle and an ellipse, they both have a plus in the middle, but they have some kind of denominator. Whoops, sorry. Over here it's supposed to be a 1, or else it makes it math. You gotta fix it if it's not a 1. One of the solutions for this would be like 2, 0, because if x is 2, this would be worth 1. 2 squared over 4 is 1, and this would be 0. So 2, 0 is the solution. -2, 0 is the solution. You guys know another solution? Beat me to it? No, not quite. 0, 3. Because if this is 3 squared, this is 9. 9 over 9 is 1. If this is 0, 0 plus 1. So it could be 0, 3 or 0, -3. Okay, so on the graph, that looks like -2, 2, 3, -3. Looks like that. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be an oval more than an egg, but anyway. Okay, so basically, the x-intercepts are the square root of this. So it's 2 and -2. And the y-intercepts are the square root of 9. So 3 and -3. If whichever has the larger denominator makes that the major axis. So on this one, the y has the larger denominator, so it's stretched longer along the y-axis than it is along the x-axis. Okay, the major axis has. I shouldn't even explain this part. Let's go. There's a couple points in here that are. Let me think about what they are. Let's see, 81 ways. Okay, 81 ways. Dang it. Okay. Okay. Square root of 5 would be just a little over 2, so about right there. Okay, there's a couple points on these graphs along the major axis, and they are called foci, which is, how do you spell that? Is it 2 I's?
F-O-C-I. That's what it says.
Plural for focus. What's special about these points is any point on this ellipse, if you add the distances from those two focal points, foci, they're going to be the same. So this distance plus this distance is the same as this distance plus this distance. It's kind of like if you take a string and wrap it around these, and then like take a pencil and stretch it, it'll make the ellipse. Like if these are thumbtacks, and you put them there, and then you wrap a string around it. So any point on the ellipse is equidistant from the two foci, the sum of those two distances. That's on a circle. There's only one point, right? The center, and every point on the circle is equidistant from the center. On an ellipse, it's equidistant from the 2 points together, called foci. Okay, how do you find the foci? Let me back up, clean that up a little bit. Okay, so all you do is subtract these two and take the square root of it. So just do the bigger one minus the smaller one. So you just did 9 minus 4 is 5, and it's the square root of 5. So the square root of 5 is not a pretty number. It's like 2 point. I don't know, about 2.2 anyway. So, and that goes on the major axis. So about where 2.2 is, negative 2.2, that would be the foci. Anyway, if you have to sketch it. So because it's on the y-axis, that would be like the y-coordinate. 0 square root of 5, 0 negative square root of 5. These would be the coordinates, the location of the foci. All right, you guys got all that? Probably not, but that's okay because we'll do it again on number 1. Number 1 says sketch each ellipse, find the coordinates of the vertices and foci. It doesn't really say we have to do. And I don't know. Okay, anyway, so x squared over 36.
So should we just count by twos?
No, it's not that big. You guys remember how I did it?
Maybe 6.
So where's it going to cross the x-axis?
6.
6 and negative 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go far enough backwards. 6 and negative 6. They call those the vertices. The endpoints of the ellipse. Okay. So we just did square root of 36 to find those, and where's it going to hit the y-axis? Square root of 16, so that's 4. Negative 4. Okay. It's hard to draw these. Okay, and then for the foci, 36 minus 16, and then we do the square root of that. And since that simplifies to square root of 20 simplifies to 2 square root of 5. Since it's on the x-axis, you know what? We don't have to really write that twice. You can just put plus or minus 2 square root of 5, 0. Since the major axis is the x-axis, these are the x-coordinates. Where is square root of 20? Well, it's about 4. Point. It's probably about 4.4. All right. Good? Okay, number 3, 1625. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. The x-intercepts are going to be at square root of 16, so that's 4, 4, 0. The y-intercepts are going to be at square root of 25. Okay, those would be the foci, because this is, the y is going to be the major axis this time. It's longer. 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's more circular. That was a pretty good one. Should I walk around and shame whoever drew it for them?
You can look at mine if
Sam's proud of his.
Yeah, he wants to look at his. Yeah.
Let's judge people. Look at mine or... No, you guys are probably about as good or better than mine, so I can't really. All right, the foci. So what do we do for the foci?
25 minus 16.
Is 9, and then we do the square root of 9, so it's just a nice, perfect 3. So, since the major axis is the y-axis, we're going to have the foci at 3 and negative 3. On the y-coordinates.
Wow, information. That's bad. You can't even wind down on me. Oh, that's the worst thing I've ever produced.
Trey, that was
We just assume it was Leo.
wow. Yeah. That happens to us.
Trey, that's so bad. Oh my God.
He said that's the worst thing I've ever.
It is spicy.
Oh,
That's disgusting. Wow. I thought it was safe. Stop.
Oh my gosh, it won't go away. Why is my stomach hurting? Mr. Jordan, you
I'm
want
afraid to
to
walk over here.
What you eat?
It's not gonna just spray him. Just. That's doing nothing. It's mixing.
Give it a second.
It's
Oh my
mixing.
God.
An unholy combination.
Wow. Oh my God, that's not helping. It's mixing. Why is that only over here? Don't smell that.
That's evil.
Trey, what'd you eat?
Bro, I told you a cup of peanut butter.
Just like that.
And no. And no.
Wow.
Okay, number 5.
My bad.
Okay,
Information.
we want this number on the right to be a 1, so how are we going to fix this? How do I turn this in?
25.
Just divide by 225. So divide both sides, every term on both sides by 225.
That spray smells awful. It smells so bad.
Yeah, that's
Wet
spray.
shoes.
Something about that spray.
Yes, the spray is bad.
Oh, that smells
I swear she's
Smell it just hit. Really gonna move.
You're in the impact zone.
Yeah.
Yours hits you like a brick wall.
Yeah.
You don't smell it at all.
Okay,
Yeah.
all of these are gonna happen to reduce 9 over 225, let's see, what is that, 215, no, 25. 25 over 225 reduces to 9. This is 1, whoops. So after we divide by 225, it comes out nice and neat. How convenient. So, where's it gonna hit the x-axis? What are the vertices? Square root of 25 is 5. It'll be the vertices. It's gonna hit the y-axis, square root of 9, 3. And the foci are 25 minus 9 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 25 minus 9, 16. Square root of 16. Alright. 2, 3. I can smell the spray.
Yeah, it's supposed
Nah, it's not that bad.
It's pretty bad. Jordan, what does the F mean?
Foci.
We gave our friends shoulders and face putting the flowers. Yeah.
Really funny. You seem mad.
Therapy for that one. So bad.
It's like when you pour on eyes, like he just gets mad.
How could you not get mad at that? Sound familiar?
I've never seen Isaac mad.
Really?
No.
Yes, you have.
He's
Yeah.
mad at the dumbest things.
Yes.
Just even get annoyed, but not mad.
Alright, number 7, sketch the graph of the inequality.
Oh my.
Didn't you like punch Sandra because he was stacking stuff on top of you?
I
was
remember
sleeping.
that as well. All plenty of time to see it over the.
Sam, remember when Kyle pulled the chair?
Oh
my
God. No, that was
We were-
Trey.
When we
No,
were
that was
playing
me.
cards.
I put the pencil in.
Oh,
That was my bad.
I was about to say, it was gonna go
Just in the course
nuclear.
of 5 minutes, first Kyle pulls the chair out.
That
I'm
was
like,
the
alright.
most
I
mad
can
I've
let that
seen
go.
him.
And then
I thought
I'm
Sam was
letting it
gonna
go.
nuclear.
letting it go.
I've never seen you that mad since.
I was scared.
Okay,
So
so 7's an inequality. You guys remember what changed when we did inequalities?
You shaded.
Yeah. Sometimes you made the line dotted, solid or dotted, but in this case, yeah, they made it less than or equal to, so they will be solid. So, kind of the same thing. The foci is going to be at the square root of 25s, or sorry, the vertices. So that's plus or minus 5, 0. The y-intercept is going to be at 3. And the foci, 25 minus 9, 16, square root of 16 is 4. Notice they keep using the same numbers over and over. Oh, this might be a different section. That's okay. We'll just keep going.
You just do 1 through 7.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mr. Jordan, how do you get the plus or minus 4?
Same way we did all the other ones. 25 minus, or 9, and then you square root
Oh,
of
you're
that.
square above. Okay.
I smell his shoe.
Oh my god. Why did you
My
do
bad,
that?
bro.
Okay,
Is he still
so are we done with this?
No.
What do you think we're missing?
You still have the shade.
Have to do what?
You still have the shade.
Shade it? Where do you guys think we should shade?
Well, on the inside?
Less than one, so
It's
you.
inside or outside, right? How could we check? How would we know?
You plug something in and if it comes out.
Right. What would be a good thing to plug in? You could plug in anything.
2.
Okay, there's
2-0.
two things to plug in.
2-0.
Okay, why not just 0, 0? Okay, does 0, 0 work in this? 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 1? Yep. So yeah, it is the inside. I don't think we really even needed the foci on this one. They didn't really ask for it, but it's okay. So why are we shading this? Because any point inside that region is a solution to our inequality. Maybe I'll just have you guys do the 7B part. Don't forget. So it says greater than on that one, so guess what's going to happen? Shade outside. Number 9. Find the domain and range of each function. And graph the function. You may find a graph calculator. Oh, graphing calculator. I tell you what, let's do, we'll do part of that. So let's talk about how to find domain. Domain, you guys know what the domain on this graph would be?
-5 to 5.
Yeah, between -5 and 5. Some other books write it like this, like -5, -5. But yeah, all the x values between -5 and 5 are included. The range would be -3 to 3. Okay, we can get the domain without graphing this, because basically anything under the square root for it to exist has to be greater than or equal to 0. Anything under the square root cannot be negative because that's an imaginary number. So how could I solve this for x? Okay, minus 36. Now what? If you divide by -1, what
Put the sign.
the inequality switches?
And square root.
Okay. Actually, might not have worked. We might need to sketch it. They said the graphing calculator can help. I think let's just play with it.
It's like under it. It's
Do
not
it.
really top.
So if I plug in like 6 into this, I get 0. 1, 6, 0, or -6 into this. It turns this into a 0. So that's point at 6, 0, -6, 0. Let's see. If I plug in, what can make this square root of 35? What a mess. What if I plug in 0? What do I get?
You're gonna get -2.
36 minus 0 is 36. Square root of 36 is 6. 6 times -1/3 is -2. It's going down here. That didn't quite work. So if I try plugging in something bigger than 6, like 36 minus 7 squared, that won't work because that'd be a negative. So there's nothing happening out here it's just a, I don't know, a half ellipse, I guess. Is what we got. So anyway, what's the domain? This is not quite right. Yeah, it's close though. It's, anyway, it would work between -6 and 6 for the
Plus
domain.
Right.
And what is the range?
-2, 0.
Between -2 and 0. The lowest y value is -2, the highest y value is 0. Right there. So -2 less than or equal to y less than 0. Domain. Okay. All right, number 11. On a single set of axes graph, blah, 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 blah. Give the area of the circle and guess the area of the ellipse. So x squared plus y squared equals 1. Put it over 3. Okay. So from yesterday, what's that circle gonna look like? What's the center of the circle?
That's the origin, or
0, 0. What's the radius?
1.
Yeah, square root of 1 is 1. So it's a very small circle. You should have zoomed in, but the center's at 0, the radius is 1. How do we find the area of a circle? You're kind of combining just pi r squared. Pi r squared. So the radius is 1, so it's 1 squared times pi, which is just pi. So anyway, the area of the circle is pi. I don't know, units squared, I guess. Okay. Now, how are we going to graph that thing?
Just a growth.
Well, y squared doesn't have a denominator, so what's the denominator on the y squared?
1.
1. So that means the y values, I'm going to change this color to blue. So it's going to hit the y-axis at the square root of 1, which is still 1. So same spot. Where's it going to hit the x-axis? Correct, good. Square root of 3. Which is, let's see, I think it's 1.7-ish, a little bit, 1.73. So, kind of getting close to 2. Out here a little ways. I think that was terrible. All right, they said, guess what the area of the ellipse is. Well, we know it's bigger than pi, right? I wonder if, well, I guess about 4. I don't know. Pi is 3.14, so it's a little bit bigger. Let's see what they put on this. I'm not sure what they're getting at here. They said about 2 pi. That's a lot bigger than I thought. How did they get that? I don't know. 2 circles. Okay. Yeah, forget that part. We won't do that. Alright. Number 13. Oh, shoot. That was number 10. I did the x over 3 one. Oops. Okay, so you guys need to do 11, I guess. Okay. 13 and 15, find the equation of the ellipse. No problem, right? Okay, the vertex is, one of the vertices is at 0, -9. So what does that tell me?
Is that plus or minus 9?
No. Well, we're trying to write an equation for the ellipse. So if the vertex, you guys know what a vertex is? It's the endpoint on the major axis is -9. What does that tell me about the equation? Come on, guys, use your brains. All right, let's go back. Okay. So where is this going to hit the x-axis? 5. That was the vertex, 5, 0. This hits the y-axis at 3. Okay, so if the vertex is at 0, 9, well, 0, -9. If it's at 0, 9 also.
0, 3.
What's the equation going to look like? Okay, again, let's go back. Okay, if this is a 25, the vertex was at 5. So if the vertex is at 9,
Over 81.
right, what's over 81?
The x. Or right on the y.
It's on the y-axis. So, yeah, this is an 81. Reverse engineer. All right. The minor axis is 6 units long. So if the minor axis is 6 units long, how far is it going in the x direction? Okay. This is the major axis because it added the vertices. This is the minor axis, the x-axis. So if it's 6 long, how far are we going in the x direction? 3. So if it's hitting at 3, 0, a -3, 0, what's the equation going to look like?
It's going to be x squared over 9.
9. 3 squared. All right. Number 15. The vertex is at 17, 0. Okay, kind of the same thing as last time, right? Okay, if the vertex is at 17, 0, what does that tell me?
X squared over 289.
Right, this will be over 17 squared, which is 289. Also tells me that the x-axis is the major axis. And the y-axis is the minor. Okay, the focus is 8, 0. Alright, this is tricky. So for now, I'm going to put, I don't know, B. I'll just call it, yeah, I'll call it B there. I don't know what else to call it. So the focus, how did we find the focus earlier? we did this minus this, and then we did the square root of that, right? So 289 minus b, and the square root of that should equal the focus, which is 8.
Can you just square it?
So yeah, how do I get rid of the square root?
Square it.
Square it. 289 minus b equals 64. It's basic. So if we subtract 289, we get negative b equals negative something. 289 minus 64 is 225. So negative b equals negative 225. So b is